Hello and welcome to my Game Week 30 team selection video. There is tons to get through this game week, so let's get straight into it. So we do have to talk about game week 29, where yes, I did use my free hit chip, but I'm taking it as a win. I got 22 points, which was miraculously a green arrow. That's 2 green arrows in a row, so I'm really happy that I'm now at 268,000. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I've been stuck around 350k for what feels like ages. So this feels like massive progress. Hopefully we can continue in that direction. I've got 1,723 points in total. So there's not really too much to say. Obviously, Kaminsky did not get a clean sheet. My defense was a disaster. Porro, Doty, Reguilon. Annoyingly, I completely caved to the Reguilon pressure. I had Royslav in my team for absolutely ages. Even before I did my team selection video, I was adamant that I was going to keep him in. But that will teach me for peering to peer pressure, for bowing to peer pressure more like, -3 points. And I know Royslav only got 1, but that feels like an absolute haul in comparison to the -3. And then with my midfield, again, there wasn't really too much to talk about. Bowen, Maddison, Elanga and Son all unfortunately blanked. There was the hesitation between going for Gibbs-White or Elanga. Initially in my team selection, I did have Morgan Gibbs-White on my bench. I took him off the bench. I'm not quite sure why, but I'm relatively pleased by that. That feels like a bit of a win that I didn't have those bench points, although it would have been much better if I'd have played him, but I still stand by it. I think Elanga was a better pick and just got really unlucky on the day. But Morgan Gibbs-White owners, well done. That was a really great shout. And then my front three, I caved last minute. I originally had Wissa in my team, decided that double Brentford attack was too much, so I transferred him out and I brought in Chris Wood, who went and scored a goal. Really happy with that. And the 9 points really helped my team. I put the captaincy on Tony. It sounds really silly, but it was his birthday. I thought he was due a haul. It's been absolutely ages since he had any returns. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We got 1 point in total, taking me to 2 points from my captain. Definitely a game week to forget. And then we will talk about the bench very quickly. Nothing from Sels, nothing from Kudus, nothing from Moreno, and then nothing for Tim Ream. If you did watch my video, I originally had Castagna on my bench as well as Gibbs-White. And my theory for that was I thought Fulham were going to get absolutely annihilated by Spurs. That didn't happen, but I was going to just have Fulham players on the bench so that I wasn't really upset about bench points. Really relieved I took Castagna off because I would have been absolutely kicking myself in a game week like this. But let's have a look at what my transfer plans are for the upcoming game week. So we are back to normal, and my plan as follows is I want to bring Salah back ASAP. I don't know when or how I'm going to do it, so we're going to go through a few options. But I think for now, I'm not going to have a massive knee-jerk reaction this game week. I think I need to stay calm. I've still got some very good captaincy options in my team. I don't think I need to rip apart my team right now to bring back Salah, but he is definitely a priority, especially ahead of Liverpool's double in game week 34. So I think I'm going to start off slow. And my defence is a mess, an absolute mess. So I'm going to take out Ake. That's the decision so far. Now, Ake is 5.1 million, so he is towards the dearest side. He's averaging 3.6 points per match and his ownership's 9%. I just think that there are better options out there rather than Ake, and I'm a little bit worried about Pep Roulette in the next couple of weeks. Man City have got a really busy schedule. Ake has been lucky enough to start and play the full 90 for a couple of weeks now, but I'm waiting for that day. I see a lineup and he's not on it, or he's on the bench, and I'll be so disappointed. With the upcoming fixtures as well, they've got Arsenal at home, then they've got Villa, they go on to Palace and then Luton. Out of the 4, the only ones I can potentially see them keeping a clean sheet in is game week 33 against Luton. It's a home fixture for City as well. But I'm just not sure that 5.1 million is worth keeping Ake around. So here are some of my transfer options. We are starting off with a Newcastle defender, which already saying out loud feels wrong. But we've got Lascelles. He's only 3.9 million, which is the most appealing part of him. He's averaging 3 points per match and his ownership is super low at 2.7%. With Botman undergoing surgery and out for 6 to 9 months, I think Lascelles is just a really nice cheap option to go for. My concern is Newcastle's defence has left a lot to be desired. It's not the best, is it? And I have already got Dubravka, so doubling up on that Newcastle defence is probably a risky strategy, especially when you consider that I just transferred out Trippier because I was having the issue of just not getting clean sheets, not getting attacking returns. It was actually quite disheartening having double Newcastle defence. So maybe this isn't the one to go for, but the thing that is really drawing to me is that 3.9 million price point, and where I am trying to save money and bring in Salah somehow, this could be quite a nice way of doing it. Another thing that's probably a bit of an issue is my defence at the moment is not the strongest at all. I've got Saliba, who I'm happy with. I've got Zabani, who's fine, I think, for the next couple of game weeks. But then I have Pinnock and I have Estupinian and then Ake. So if I'm bringing in Lascelles, I've still got Estupinian and Pinnock, and it's just not very strong. And I think Lascelles isn't really up there. But if we splash a little bit more money, only mildly, we could go for Connor Bradley. I'm a bit more tempted by Bradley. He's only 4.1 million, averaging 7.2 points per match, and his ownership is low at 6.6%. Upcoming fixtures are really nice. We've got Brighton. I do think Brighton may surprise us in this fixture, but then they go on to Sheffield United, then to Manchester United away, and then Palace at home. So it's quite a nice little run. Again, he's really, really cheap. Ideally, and what I am a little bit tempted by, is trying to find the money to bring in Van Dijk, but I am struggling for those funds. So I have been wanting to bring in Bradley for quite a while, especially since his insane performance in game week 22 against Chelsea, where he scored a goal and got 2 assists, and that ended up in a massive 21-point haul. I don't know if that's probably a bit too optimistic to hope for, maybe for the Sheffield United fixture, but it would set me up really, really nicely for Liverpool's double in game week 24 when they play Fulham and Everton, which in my opinion is probably the best double of that game week. But I do need to keep an eye on Trent's return. If Trent comes back, that could really ruin my Connor Bradley plans. And as I had just touched on, I haven't got the strongest defence. So maybe I do need to spend a bit more money to get a bit more of a nailed player in, because it is a bit of a risk, and I don't want to transfer in Bradley this week and then have to make another defensive transfer in the week after. So then that takes me to Gusto. I think I'm a bit adverse to bringing in Chelsea players because it stresses me out, but he's 4.2 million, so the most expensive out of the three. He's only averaging 2.6 points per match, and his ownership is at 7.6%. Now, Chelsea have got a really, really nice run of fixtures coming up. They're playing Burnley at home this week, then they go on to Manchester United, Sheffield United, and then Everton. I really like it, and I think he's got quite a good attacking threat. In a dream world, we will see Gusto linking up nicely with Cole Palmer, getting some assists. Cole Palmer will get a hat trick. It will be lovely to see. But again, there's just something that makes me a bit apprehensive about going for Chelsea assets. They're quite unpredictable. I should probably touch on, because I'm sure someone will mention it in the comments, of course we do need to keep an eye on Reece James and whether he returns, but it's not looking very likely. It's not going too well. So I think Gusto, maybe, especially for that Burnley home fixture this game week, that makes me a lot more tempted. So I think out of the three, I'm probably leaning the most towards Gusto. Yes, he is the most expensive out of all of them, but realistically he's only 4.2 million, so it's not exactly breaking the bank. We're not going for the big leagues there. It's not quite a Van Dijk as much as I wish it was, but I think he's the most nailed out of all of them. The chances of Reece James coming back just seem very, very slim, and I think the fixtures long term are really nice. So that takes me into my team selection for this upcoming game week. So this is how my team is looking at the moment. Now, I did have the captaincy on Palmer. I've moved it back to Son, and I think I'm going to be going between the two of them. I think I should probably just stick with Palmer. Let's save that for now, because the Burnley home fixture I do prefer over the Luton home fixture. The problem is Spurs can be quite unpredictable, which we saw last game week. They came off the back of a 4-0 win against Villa to then lose 3-0 against Fulham. I think maybe Palmer does have a little bit more consistency, and I just really, really like him as an asset. He's coming off the back of a 13-pointer against Newcastle. He also got 5 points against Brentford. Unfortunately, he did blank against City, but then we look at Palace. He got 2 assists for that game. So I think Palmer maybe edges it slightly. This is the formation that I'm going for. Saka is on the bench, which probably isn't the best thing in the world, but that City fixture with Saka flagged, I don't think I can risk starting Saka, and I don't know who I'd bench out of the rest of them. I think I prefer Foden as an asset. I'm too scared to bench Haaland, which isn't the best reason to play him. And then Gordon, I'm definitely having him for that home fixture. Palmer, Son, there is no discussion about whether or not I'm going to bench them. And then Solanke isn't my favourite asset in the world, but Everton at home should be quite a nice fixture for Bournemouth. And then again, Watkins, Wolves at home, a nice one to go for. Maybe I will bench Solanke over Saka, but for now, I think I'm just going to stick with 3-4-3, and then we'll see nearer the time what happens. But obviously, Ake is a big issue in my team, and I'm not really feeling that great about playing him. So what I could do is, as I just discussed, just do Ake to Gusto. Gusto is flagged at the moment, but fingers crossed he will be absolutely fine. What does it say? 75% chance of playing. Yeah, he's fine. So this is what the team will look like. It doesn't thrill me. I'm not that overwhelmed by it. But one thing I could maybe do, and I think this is quite risky because I really, really like Ollie Watkins. And again, upcoming fixture against Wolves, I don't know if I'm feeling brave enough necessarily to take out Watkins, but if I was feeling a bit wild on the day, I could go for Muniz. He is on everyone's lips. The last 7 game weeks, I think he's had 7 goals and an assist. He's doing so incredibly well. In the spirit of saving money, he's also only 4.6 million, which gives me a much easier route to Salah in the upcoming game weeks. But his run at the moment is mad. His underlying numbers in the past 7 game weeks as well are really, really promising. He's had 27 shots in the box and he's averaging 18.8 minutes per shot. This week's fixture as well is against Sheffield United, and that is, I think I do prefer this fixture rather than Ollie Watkins' Wolves fixture. And then they go on to playing Nottingham Forest away. The nice thing with Muniz as well is that I can bench him. And in game week 34, when we have the doublers, I wouldn't mind benching him for that Liverpool home fixture. I don't think I'd really be that keen on playing him anyway. And I'd be hoping to get more double game week players out of that game week. So that is an option. And then I won't be taking any hits this week. So I think I need to just appreciate the fact that I won't have Salah this game week. It does mean that I will be going in with a bit of a rusty defence, should we say, but hopefully we'll pick up the points later. And then next game week, I could go for Van Dijk, take out Ake. So if we try that, because obviously Van Dijk is more expensive at 6.5 million, I then have 3.3 million remaining in the bank. And then for next game week, who are Spurs playing? They have got West Ham, then they go on to Forest. Bit nervous about not having Son for Forest. But then I could take Son out and bring in the king of FPL, go for Salah, and I'll have 0.1 million remaining in the bank. But I don't know. I don't know if this is too many moves for one game week, and it's probably it's going to be between whether or not I fancy Watkins against Wolves or just going fully in, having a bit of a punt, going for Muniz. What's his ownership at as well at the moment? His ownership's at 4.8%, so it is still very low and it could give me the edge. But again, Watkins has got a very high ownership, so maybe it's better to play it safe. But we're at this point in the season. I'm having fun. So this is what my team would look like for next game week. Or I could just bite the bullet and do Muniz in this week and then also bring in Van Dijk. And it's the Brighton fixture as well. We may see some attacking returns from Van Dijk. I don't know. Potentially a clean sheet, but I think we are probably doubting Brighton a bit more than we should be. But that's not a bad move for a -4. And then next week for free, I could bring in Salah. So that's the decision, people. Let me know in the comments what you think. I did a live stream recently where I was just chatting through every single scenario that I could go through with my players. So if you would like to watch that, you can catch up. But that is where we are for now. So the captaincy at the moment is on Palmer. We haven't made any transfers yet, but I think Ake is definitely going to be leaving the squad. Too scared about rotation. And I'll be bringing in someone else, whether or not that's Van Dijk or Gusto or one of the other 2 players that I discussed. But I think probably Gusto does have the edge. And then maybe Watkins out for Muniz. Let me know what you think in the comments, as always. And thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. And leave me a comment to let me know what your plans are this game week. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.